Welcome to another episode of the State of the Bulldogs. Sam, Mike, Jeb, and Grant. Grant, it has been a wild couple of weeks. Just fortunate to get back on this week to record. My goodness. If anyone is keeping tabs on YouTube, they have noticed that we still have not moved into our house in Birmingham. So we're at 25 days and counting. But who's counting? Am I right? Am I right? Grant, how are we?
Just a few layers of paint they got to get fixed up over there,
That's
right?
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
just a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make sure. Yeah, it's 2 weeks off. Had NCAA tournament game in the mix there. Then, spring practice getting started. Baseball, softball, and SoCon play. We're hitting a good spot right now.
Dude, there's so much going on. I mean, since we've recorded, the women's basketball team lost to Southern in the play-in game against South Carolina, where, hey, they've made the silver lining, Grant. We were not the largest loss in NCAA tournament history, unlike Southern versus South Carolina.
I forgot to even check.
R.I.P.
Look that up right now.
That was tough.
Well.
It was like 101 to 36 or something like that. But our game versus Southern was very entertaining. Kind of fell off the rails there in the last 7 minutes. But that's kind of how things happen. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. And then we got March Madness absolutely rolling. No Cinderella. It's annoying to see people pointing to this Texas team as Cinderella. It's like, that's
Just
like
'cause
an underwhelming New York Yankees team being called a October darling. It's like, no.
Yeah, it's the Yankees who are a third wildcard team who won their first best of three. Now they're going on. It's basically the Giants when they won the Super Bowl. They were 9-7 or whatever they were, that a 6 seed or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Beat the Pats. Yeah.
Tennis, men's tennis, on an absolute heater. Softball finding their groove, and then baseball, maybe we're just okay this year. We can certainly score. There's no doubt about that. But we like to give up a lot of runs, and that is not necessarily a recipe for success, especially when it looks like the SoCon will be especially tough this year, with ETSU and Mercer especially leading the way with some pretty impressive resumes. Mercer, for the first time since 2013 or 2012, something like that, hit 20 wins by March, or going into March, something like that.
Okay. All right.
So they are hitting program highs of recently, which is not great for us, but still good for them. But yeah, Grant, let's talk a little March Madness. We'll talk a little women's. We'll start with the women's game against Southern, and then talk about how your bracket's faring before we jump into some of the other sports going on campus, including a little spring football.
Yeah, South Carolina beat Southern 103-34. So that's what that score was. And then they turned around and beat USC by 40. So
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, they beat the real USC by 40. Basketball is a tight game all throughout. Samford scored 2 points of their last bucket was with 6:59 left in the fourth quarter. They didn't score again. The offense kind of died there at the end. It was a closer game. Samford was struggling with turnovers. They turned it over a lot. And this one, they finished with 19 turnovers. They had a lot in the first half. So you look around at halftime, it's like, all right, it's still a tie game. We're still in it. We're doing fine. Hitting some big threes. And then, like I said, late in the fourth quarter, the offense kind of died, which is the team that they were before they got hit this February and March stretch. And when it's SoCon tournament, the offense kind of get stagnating in spots and it kind of reverted back to their old ways. A lot like the men we saw, they kind of reverted back to their kind of ways early at the start of the season. Same thing where the offense kind of dried up and they couldn't find a way to get it done. But Southern had 3 scores in double figures. One girl, Jaylee Reed, was 16. Brianna Rivera's led the way. Samford scoring. She had 16 points in 39 minutes. She still is first in the country in 3-pointers made per game, so you got that. But yeah, Sierra Godbout only 2 points. Kaylee Yarborough 11 points off the bench. So yeah, it's just the offense kind of cratering in the fourth quarter. Southern outscoring us 21-9 in the fourth.
Yeah, it went quiet. We were leading going into the fourth.
Yep.
That's what I remember. And it felt like Southern was giving it, because yes, we were turning the ball over, but so were they. And we had several opportunities to capitalize on it, but we just couldn't. Their defense was pretty good. They were a little bit faster, a little bit taller. And and we just weren't able to get around them. And then they played essentially lockdown defense, or it was a combination of lockdown defense and, hey, who's going to step up and actually score for us? And now there's some confusion on the offensive side of the ball those last few minutes, and that just spelled defeat. Because as soon as they went on like a 7-2 run or a 9-2 run, and as soon as they just went, just the first two possessions of that run where they scored back to back, went up by 4, you just kind of felt like, okay, the game was slipping away. And then it snowballed from
Yeah,
there.
Samford went 4 of 13 for the field in the fourth, 1 of 7 from 3, while Southern on the other end was 7 of 13, and they made their only 3 of the quarter and hit some free throws late, which they didn't make early in the game. But yeah, it just kind of average first quarter, bad fourth quarter, real good second and third quarters, get themselves back in the game. It was tied at 44 going into the fourth, but again, the offense just couldn't get it done against a team that was, like you said, a little bit longer, a little more physical. They play kind of chaotic way, try to
And
speed you up, and they
older.
definitely and older too. Yeah, they speed you up, and that's definitely a big reason why Stanford had 19 turnovers.
Yeah, Southern's point guard, she's a real good player. Good leader, offensively, defensively, and she was pretty much the spark behind that fourth quarter run that solidified the victory. But hey, fun. I mean, super fun end of the season. Couldn't have asked for anything more. That's the goal every year, is to make March Madness. Um, we all knew that the winner of that was going to get absolutely annihilated by South Carolina,
Yeah,
because my goodness, the women's game is so top heavy. It's evened out a little bit, like it's not just one team each year, but
it's like
my goodness,
6.
it's still just like five,
Yeah,
six, and they're so much better than the rest of the top 25, much less the mid majors. So, oof, it would have been tough sledding, but it was cool. I thought the other highlight, other than making the tournament, was our team got to meet Dawn Staley, and she was hanging out at the playing game. She went to the locker rooms before each game. I thought that was really cool, because she's, other than Coach
Ariema, yeah, Gino.
Ariema, they're the two most legendary figures, other than Mike will kill me. Mike will absolutely kill me. Mentioned Pat Summit. So if there's a Mount Rushmore of modern day coaches, those would probably be the three. Dawn being the newest addition, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah.
Speaking of Mike, you brought up a good point in the chat that I've seen some kind of debate back and forth ever since the tournament's both expanded to 68 teams. Is the automatic qualifiers, the 16 seeds playing in the first four? It's like, would you rather play in the first four and have a chance to win a tournament game, or be solidly into the field and have to play a one seed and end up losing by however many points?
I don't mind the 16 seed playing game,
Uh-huh.
because realistically they're never going to win the first round game.
Yeah.
At the same time, as fans of a mid major program, that if Samford were to make it on the men's side, we would probably be in the 12 to 14 range, 15 range at the max. It doesn't necessarily feel great if another mid major gets to quote unquote claim a victory when your squad maybe makes it 3 out of 8 years or 9 years and they never win. That doesn't necessarily feel fair.
Yeah.
Um, So I don't know. Sometimes I'm for the play-in, sometimes I'm not. I don't really care about the conference championship component of it, the auto bid component of it.
Yeah.
To me, like Samford did not deserve to be anything other than a 16 seed in the play-in game. We had a losing record in the regular season.
Yep.
We won the conference tournament, so we got into the dance, but we didn't deserve anything else. So I was fine with the women's in the play-in game.
Yeah.
But I don't like that it counts as a tournament win. But you can't have both, right? Like
Yeah. Uh-huh.
you can't have both.
Yeah, because it's easy to say we won a tournament game, we beat another 16th seed. It's like,
Right.
well, they
So
expanded it. Wait till
did
they
you?
expand it to 74 or whatever. Martin, please don't let that happen. But like, even if they did that, I saw, like you said, I see both sides. If you're the team like Sanford, it's like, oh yeah, we have a chance to win a tournament game, even though we finished 13-18 or whatever it was and won the SoCons. Yeah, there's definitely both sides, and it's a different factor either way. But I do lean more towards the, hey, we get to say we won a tournament game.
It was way more fun watching the game versus Southern,
Yeah,
knowing that if we did win, it would be our first March Madness win ever, and that would
yeah,
be awesome. So yeah, there is. Yeah, I think ultimately that part probably does outweigh, you know, the overall picture of it's not necessarily fair to the 12 to 14, 15 seeds. But hey, speaking of Martin Newton, the committee totally got scammed by SMU. The
Yes,
most undeserving team puts out a tweet on Selection Sunday saying their star player will be returning. They were 1-7 without him and looked terrible without him.
yeah. BJ
Would
Edwards,
be
yeah.
returning. Dude didn't even suit up for the first game. Didn't even suit up for the first game. They got rolled. Yeah, I don't know how. I don't think injuries should play any part of the criteria. I think we should totally go back to waiting the last 10 to 15 games,
Yeah, they
how
took that
teams are
out.
playing right now, because that matters. I mean, that whole scenario blew my mind. The committee just got absolutely gaslit, right?
Yeah, I'd like to see how much that obviously plays a factor. I mean, it did play a factor. They were like, oh yeah, like even they
It's
asked,
why they got in.
yeah, whoever the chair was. I think the Horizon League commissioner maybe was the, I forgot who was the chair. Keith Gill, oh, Sunbelt commissioner, and they asked him about it, and he was like, well, they've haven't been the same, but they've had this guy hurt, and he basically said like what you just said. It's like, oh yeah, he's been hurt, but when he has been out there, they've been a tournament team, so we figured that they be worthy of a spot, even though, like you said, they're like 1 or 2 and whatever to finish the last 10, and they took out that criteria you mentioned. It said how well you played over your last 10 games, and so they
The
took that part
bubble
out. Yeah,
the bubble should weigh most heavily on how you're playing now, because
yeah,
this is a TV product. This is not a participation trophy. It's a TV product. Most deserving wins the bubble. Um, or best team at the moment wins the bubble,
yeah,
not
best
the
team.
most deserving. And I
Yeah,
would argue even that SMU is not the most deserving. And I think SMU should get at least a 1-year postseason ban for those shenanigans, because that guy was never cleared. He was not going to be cleared. They wanted the
right.
money. They wanted the exposure. They knew he was not going to play and totally lied. It's SMU, for Pete's sakes. Their reputation is terrible, and yet the committee still believed them. Anyway, that aside, who you have in your Final Four, Grant? You
I was
still
trying to
alive?
find. Yeah, still alive. Got all four. Let's see. Shoot, I don't even remember. I know I have Arizona winning. I do know that. Yeah, I think I have Duke playing Houston, and then Arizona playing pretty chalky. Arizona playing Michigan. So
That is so chalky.
yeah,
I'm pulling my Final Four up. So in my Final Four, we have St. John's versus Houston, and then a Big Ten other side, Purdue versus Michigan, and then I have St. John's versus Purdue with St. John's winning it all. But I didn't realize that the championship, we were talking about this before, is in Indianapolis.
Indy.
And if Purdue somehow makes it through, they'll have to beat that. So they have to beat Texas in the Sweet 16, presumably beat Arizona in the Elite Eight, because we know Calipari ain't making it past the Sweet 16. Um, so beating Arizona would be tough. And then once that happens, if they get all the way to Indy, you got to think the entire crowd, other than the team specific fans, are going to be cheering for the Boilermakers. So I probably should have flipped that had I known. But I love this St. John's team. Now they squeaked by Kansas. That was lucky, fortunate. They got a little Kansas got a little bit of love from the referees in the end of that game. Maybe a couple possessions that they did not deserve.
Yeah,
Um, but St. John's is a very very fun team. Easily the most misseeded team of the tournament. Um, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why the SEC got so much love. Like it's decent, but I mean Iowa beat Florida. Vandy, that's the other thing, Grant. Vandy waxed Florida in the SEC
yeah,
tournament game. I'm sorry, one seats don't get waxed like that in your conference tournaments. That's like, I just don't understand. The committee is going down. It's just going down.
yeah. And Vandy was a 5 seed after going through that tournament, like you mentioned. And I've had the game of the tournament, Vandy, Nebraska, right there with Nebraska finding a way to get done. Somehow that half court shot from Tyler Tanner doesn't go in. It's the overinflated basketballs. That's what did it. That's the reason. The reason it didn't go in because the balls are too inflated.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And then last thing, bucketball. Had the fun win against St. Mary's, and then ran into the buzzsaw of the Houston Cougars. It's the 7th or 8th straight season now Houston has made the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Probably did not think most people probably did not think A&M would get past Houston, but my
No,
goodness, I mean, it
they're
was
insane.
talk about if Bucky doesn't have the talent that he needs to run his system, a team against Houston is a nightmare of a matchup
Some grown
where
men on that
they
Houston side.
thrive on the chaos
Yeah.
and they score efficiently. Not It's not a good combo for Bucky Ball without elite talent.
Yeah, Houston just had 7 turnovers. A&M goes 6 at 24 from 3. Yeah, the exciting
Yeah,
Whites
Grant,
over
how
at
many
St.
threes did Houston make? It was like 4,
Houston 8 of 31. Yeah, only
8.
8.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. They were just dunking it.
Yeah, A&M just ran past St. Mary's in the first game. St. Mary's, like 5 minutes in, you just knew it's like, okay, they can't keep up with A&M. They're not
No,
fast
no,
enough to play this
no.
game. They breezed by them. Then yeah, you go to Houston. Josh Holloway was A&M's leading scorer in 12 points. So that tells you the struggle
Yeah,
of
it's
the other
not going to
guys
be
on the
your
team
night.
and the offense that kind of goes on. But yeah, only 7 turnovers, 44% from the field, and yeah. Even Bucky said his post game. I think A&M posted something in the locker room of him like talking to the team after. He said, "You lost to a team that's probably could play for the Natty. Like that's how
Oh, for sure.
awesome they would for sure." And yeah, A&M had to play the perfect game, and obviously
Yeah.
didn't happen, losing 88-57.
No, and they probably, I mean, Illinois, if they had gotten past Houston, they would have lost to Illinois. I mean, that's the problem when you're not like we were talking about how the women's is top heavy. The men's is top heavy to an extent. Like it's the top feels like the top 20 are way better than the other 20 of the top 40.
Yeah,
There's some parity as we've seen with Texas. But for the most part, I mean Tennessee's right there on the line. They're 24th, right? They're the 6th seed, top 24 range. Very well could get blown out by Iowa State, who's a wagon. Um, so I don't know. The men's have it does feel like the talent spread out a little bit more in the NIL era, but we'll see. We'll see.
yeah.
Anything else on March Madness, Grant?
You got 3 banger games tonight as this drops: Iowa, Nebraska, Arkansas, Arizona, Illinois, Houston. After that one,
Yeah,
like those are
yeah,
like Texas, Purdue is okay, but I mean those other 3, Illinois, Houston could be awesome. That's Houston playing in Houston, 2 miles from their campus. So the same thing last year, where they played Purdue in the Elite Eight or somewhere close later, and that was in Indianapolis. So now they get the favor of playing in Houston for them hosting Illinois. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Yeah, let's see what happens. And then your Johnnies play the first game Friday against Duke.
yeah. The Sweet 16 is loaded. We definitely need to see Michigan roll Nate Oates. We don't need to see that
Yes, no,
Alabama
we don't need
team
to say
win
that. We don't need to
anymore.
say that.
They are frauds. The Texas Tech game,
They made
when
everything.
your team is hot from three and the other team is cold from three, Grant, what game does that remind us of every year?
Every
Every year. Oh, Furman, that's right.
oh yeah,
Not
yeah.
a good recipe.
Was Bama? Bama was 19-42 from three. Tech
Yes.
was 4-25.
Yeah, that ain't gonna do it. That's how you get blown out because those two teams are not 25-point difference.
And that's without
Anyway,
Aiden Holloway, who's a little preoccupied at the moment.
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Uh, Baseball, softball, Grant. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's touch on Bradley Franklin first, who got national runner-up in the 60-meter hurdles in the NCAA championships. Lost to a guy from Auburn um, by like point 0.1 or 0.05 seconds, like something crazy close. Um, but how cool is that, Grant? A national runner-up in a men's track event.
Yeah, second to just pulled it up. Jacoby Tharp posted a time of 7.32. Franklin ran at 7.43 in the finals. So yeah, still right there. Second, first team All American in the 60-meter, like you said. Yeah, crazy how Samford had a guy up there with Auburn. Maybe I haven't had that in the past. I don't think they've
No,
been in the. We've had guys in the championships with Trey
correct.
Oates and his events that he did back when he was in school, but nothing like Bradley finishing in second.
No, nothing like this, and nothing like this event. Like not a hurdle, like not a hurdle event.
Mhm.
Some like we can compete sometimes in like a long jump or something like that, but a sprinting event, no, no. So that is awesome. that we had a guy able to reach that point. I mean, he's only a sophomore. You do get faster, so there's a chance. Maybe. I mean, the unfortunate thing about track is it's like every year there's a new record set. Every year there's like some guy that comes on the scene that is just so much faster than the guys the year
It's
before.
crazy.
Um, but hey, he keeps knocking on the door. Maybe he can bust right in and claim a national title, which would be absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So congrats, Bradley. Very cool. Very, very cool to see Samford in the national runner-up position. All right. Baseball, softball. Tales of two cities, Grant. Baseball, I think we know what we are. We're a very good offensive team. Come the SoCon tournament, we will be able to win the tournament. We will also be able to go 2-Q. Because, brother, we can't pitch. We cannot keep teams from scoring. That's a problem.
It's the Casey Dunn team all over again.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we should have swept. We should have swept Western Carolina. Yet we score 9 runs in the 2 losses and lose. Now, one of them went famous because of the called third strike. I'm one of those fans that's always like, you don't let it get to that point.
Yeah.
If you let it get to that point, that's on you. Obviously, it's not Jeff Ince's fault that they called an insane strike, but it's the team's fault that it came down to the last strike and a bad call.
Yeah, it made a good social clip, so I got that out at least. So.
But I hate it. It's so annoying. I hate it. I hate it. But yeah, we won the first game against Western, run rolled them 11-0. And then we lose 9-11 in the second, and then 9-10 in the third. But we did beat Troy. I will say I love beating Troy. If we were going to lose the conference opener, I do love beating Troy in the midweek 7-2. And we should sweep. Well, I say that. I mean, the pitching is just insane. We should beat Presbyterian in the series upcoming.
Ooh.
A sweep would make me feel much better, but I don't think that is going. I take that immediately back.
Yeah, Presbyterian. Well, here this will make it sound worse. Presbyterian's 4-22 on the season right now. So
again, we should sweep. We should sweep. Nothing is nothing is guaranteed. We should have swept Bowling Green. But hey, neither here nor there. The boys need to find their groove because the bats are so good. The bats are there, Grant. The pitching needs to find itself. The pitching needs to find itself.
If even Joseph Lee threw on Friday and Mason threw Saturday, Lee 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 7 Ks, and 11-0 1 hit shutout. So
yeah, if we could find that just 2 times in the weekend, we don't even need to be that good. We don't need this. We don't even need the no runs. We can give up 3. We can give up 4.
Actually, excuse me. Mason started. Did I mess that up? Mason, 1 and a third, 6 hits, 6 earned, 2 Ks on the first 11-9 loss.
Yeah, it's just there's still like when pitching's your problem, it lowers your ceiling. It doesn't really rule anything out if your bats are this good. Like I said, like you can still win the conference tournament with the right matchups, but it does kind of put a damper because coming into the season, just like last year, frankly, the pitching was hyped up, and we thought it was going to be good, and it just has not been nearly as good as we thought it could be. And it still may get there. We're halfway through the season. We have
long way to go.
The bulk of conference play to go. Everything's a warm up. Just don't play on, what is it, Grant? Thursday or Friday in baseball? It's Friday. Don't play on Friday. Be a top 2 seed. Which is easier said. Top 2 seed. I think you get double bye. Maybe it's top 4. Is it top 4?
I feel like it changes. I think it's top 2. I think
top 2 to be safe. That's going to be tough. ETSU and Mercer probably have that on lock at the moment.
Yeah, actually, it's top 2 Friday, top 4 Thursday. I think that's how it goes. Then everyone else starts on Wednesday. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Especially with the pitching being what it is, a double bye would be super nice. But consider we lost the first series, we're not banking on that. So boys, let's turn it around.
Yes, the worst ERA in the conference right now, team wise. So
it's really good. It's really good. Perfect. Really good.
The only ERA with a 7 in front of it.
On the flip side, Grant, Softball has scored over 30 runs in 4 games, and in our last 3 have only given up 2. I mean, talk about look. They had the same deal. Tough non-conference. Now the difference with softball is we were not winning the easier non-conference games. At least with baseball, we were winning the easier non-conference games. Softball, we weren't, and you were like, okay, what is this team? What are we going to do? I mean, coming into the Mercer series, we lost to Troy 0-5, lost to Jacksonville State 0-4. Like those are games where maybe you don't win, but you're a little more competitive. Hopefully, you do
Yep.
win one of those. You don't. Um, like you have to go all the way back to March 6th against New Mexico and March 4th against West Georgia for a non-conference win. And so you go on like an 8-game or 7-game losing skid, 8-game losing skid, because we dropped the game 1 to Mercer. We weren't feeling too hot about the softball squad, but my goodness. So we dropped game 1 to Mercer 4-6. Saturday 15-1. Sunday 4-1. Tuesday go to Montgomery and absolutely wax Alabama State 13-0. The girls have got to be feeling good heading into the Chattanooga series this weekend. Got to be feeling good.
Yeah, 13-0, as you mentioned, Tuesday over Alabama State. Shout out to Risiki, a freshman, 6 innings of shutout softball over the game. And at Alabama State, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 walks, 6 K. So a true freshman joining in on that bunch with McKinley Turner throwing on that game 1 Friday. And yeah, like you said, just scoring runs. We got Chat coming up this week, a doubleheader on Saturday, Sunday. Then they go make the long trek downtown Birmingham to play UAB next Tuesday. So yeah, good to see them starts SoCon on a high. And I guess they just had to see a SoCon logo across the way and be like, okay, we're fine. We're not playing Oregon or Florida State. We're
That's right.
fine.
That's right.
We can beat Mercer. We can beat Chat. We can beat whoever on the schedule.
Might try to hit up the 1 o'clock game. I think we may be going to the Easter egg hunt on campus for the little kids that apparently Samford puts on. Grant, the 0-3, so it's like a free event, but the 0-3 RSVP has quote unquote sold out. Isn't that crazy?
We'll see.
I thought that was crazy. So I mean, Knox is 3, but we signed him up for the 4s because that had openings. Um, but I was just shocked. I was like, dang, this must be a popular event.
Yes, zero. I just pulled up the registration right now. It says just a few tickets left. Crazy. Yeah. 0-3 sold out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So it should be a bump in time. They have like jump houses and candy, obviously, and it'll be fun. And then softball has the 1 o'clock game and the 3:30 game. Grant, I never know if these are Eastern time or Central time because I'm in Eastern time. So
And you're gonna
I think that's
eventually
Central.
transition to Central. See?
We're
Yeah, you got
hoping at some point.
yeah. Call Sherwin Williams. Tell him to figure it out. Yeah, you got the Easter egg on at 11. Stanford baseball plays at 2, and then softball plays at 1 and 3:30. So yeah,
Okay, yeah, so it is Central. All right, tennis, dude,
wagon.
wagon. Men's tennis is a wagon. We're undefeated in March. No pressure against Chat and ETSU to end the month. Um, Started off the month hot, 7-0 win against Wofford. We talked about that one. Go on the road to UNCG and the Citadel, win 5-2, 4-3. Georgia Southern game postponed. I think that was when the bad weather was ripping through the South. And then we had Lipscomb at home, 5-2 dub, and then go down to Mobile, take on the Jags of South Alabama, 4-0. Let's get it, boys. And then we go to Chattanooga on Friday, ETSU at home on Sunday. Men's tennis, what were we ranked? We hit the national rankings. We were
Yeah, let's
up
see.
to 70 at one point.
Yeah, last week we were up to 66, and now we're ranked 70th in the country, released yesterday on the
Okay.
24th. So yeah.
Okay. Like solidly in the top 80 if we're fluctuating in the 60s and 70s.
Yep,
Um,
solid.
we have 4 matches left: Chattanooga, ETSU, Furman, Mercer before the SoCon tournament in Chattanooga in the middle of April. But yeah, men's tennis absolutely rolling. Very fun. Very fun.
spring football has sprung. Grass era is underway. I did have, in fact, if I don't remember to post, you can always DM me or us on social and ask us questions. We'll answer them just in case. Colin Reese wanted to ask current position that Coach Gross most needs to prioritize their development / depth. The O line came to mind first, but then you responded with, "Well, isn't it everything?"
The entire team. Yeah, I mean, we have asked for a roster to know who exactly is out there. Because the current roster online is not accurate.
It's got
It's
some.
hard to say. There are a few guys from last year's team that we are excited to retain. But other than
Shout
that, I
out
mean,
Preston.
yeah, the short answer to that question is everything. The
Yeah.
long answer, let's pick 3 position groups. Definitely quarterback, because that's the biggest question mark I feel like over the entire team coming into the season is who will be the quarterback. We think we know, but we don't know his name, and he's not on the roster online. We just know it's not one of the 3. Although Charlie Gilliam apparently has been playing well, it's not. It's probably not one of the 3 guys they have listed. So quarterback,
Shout out
offensive
Joe.
line for sure, and then probably linebackers. I mean, the thing is on defense, unless you have a difference maker on the D line, you have to have good linebackers. Your secondary is always going to be a little questionable. But
Yeah, lean to front 7. Yeah, lean to front 7 more than the back end. Fatty guess you don't have Noah Martin, you don't have Jaden Mosley, who's going to be the guy to step up in that group. Is it
right,
Spencer Kahn, who's a transfer from Murray State, started there as a true freshman last year, the son of Samford's new DC, Mickey Kahn. So could he be in the mix? You
that'd
just
be cool.
obviously just don't know until we get out there. Brandon Franklin's a UAB transfer. Could he find a way in the mix again? We just don't know with the whole new roster, other than basically Preston Bird's the one guy. So, oh yeah, we're glad to retain him in the wide receiver room. But I mean, other than that, it's like a whole new team, whole new coaches. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we'll have enough weapons to be dangerous at the skill positions. Um, and so from that standpoint, can the offensive line actually block? Because it was just an open gate for the entire season last year. It probably the most insane play I've ever seen. Um,
Yeah.
so can the offensive line actually block? And then can we get some stops? I mean, it felt like our defense played okay at times last year. Like they were clearly not the problem.
Yep.
They were also clearly not the solution. So like, you know,
Yeah.
I Grant, all I want to see, man, all I want to see. I want to see us run the ball for 5 yards. Not every play, but like 3 or 4 times a series. 3 or 4 times a series, 30-yard drive at the minimum.
Do bubble
And then
screens
on
count?
defense, I want to see tackles. I want to see tackles, and I want to see us get off the field, or at least force some third downs. What was the game, Grant, last year? Was it Oh, I want to say it was ETSU. There was a game where it did not feel like the other team got a third down. What was it was Western Carolina. Western Carolina, but that made
Oh
sense.
yeah,
Tanner Dickens.
they
There
score
was
pretty much
no
every 5 plays.
every 5 plays. It was insane. It was just like a bloodbath out there. Um, so yeah, man, when we're starting from a team that was 1-11, I think you can name quite a few spots where we need to develop and improve. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, 2.1 yards per carry on the ground last year.
It's so bad. It was so you just have to laugh, otherwise it's depressing. Uh,
Yeah, I forgot if I
because
shouted this out, but there's a guy who was watching Marcel Reed highlights. He's a college football NFL guy, and he saw where we ran. He watched the Samford tape, which Marcel played for a quarter, but he watched the clip where we ran the hook and ladder to one side and gained like a first down 15 yards, and then ran it again, but just flipped it to the other side. He's like, I've never seen that before. That's awesome. I said, dude, we're just lucky to get a first down. So I run it back. Let's do it again. Run it the other way. Run it the other way. Yeah.
let me clue that guy in. If he likes to see plays on repeat, turn on any other Samford game. Turn on any other Samford game. You can watch the whole game in one play over and over and over. And
Yeah,
over, we have two
yeah, no
plays.
more.
Get stuffed up the middle, wide receiver screen. Get stuffed up the middle, wide receiver screen. What combination of that would you like to see? And I will give you Samford's offense last year and the year before. So yeah, I just want to see. Look, Coach Gross said we were going to play physical, um, and part of that is tackling and running the ball. And those are the two things. We probably won't be that good next year, but I promise you this: we will not be 1-11. I promise you that. From what I've heard from the guys I've talked to, the movers, from the guys I've talked to, Coach Cross has certainly begun implementing his culture, setting standards. I mean, golly, that's half of life, right? Have a standard. Just those things alone, we have enough talent out there to do something. Um, I don't know what it'll be. I think that a lot of that's going to depend on the quarterback, obviously.
Yeah,
That this league, unless you have a UTC type defense, you ride and die in your quarterback. So we'll see who that is. We'll see how they play. Um, but Coach Cross
yeah,
certainly has his work cut out.
yeah, yeah. There's more standards, more I guess discipline would be a word to
Yep.
throw out there, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and these coaches know what a program should look like, or at least what the groundwork should work like. Even if Clemson wasn't the same Clemson as before, the program they're still doing the same thing off the field. So there's at least that going of a real program coming through.
If Kurt Signetti can win a national championship in Indiana, Coach Gross can win
Can
more
win
than
one in
one game at
Sanford.
Sanford.
Win
No,
one,
Grant, just more than one game.
more than one game. Okay.
We're
Yeah.
realistic here. We're realistic.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
August
actually,
20.
to be fair, if drawing that out, yeah, he could 100% win a national championship at Sanford. That is an easier feat than what Signetti did at Indiana, which is why Signetti's probably, I mean, I think he has the case for the best coach of all time just with that one accomplishment and the fact that
Yeah,
it wasn't a fluke.
yeah, just Google him. Just look him up. He'll tell you.
That's right. All he does is win.
Yep. I am hoping to make it out to some spring practice. Obviously, we'll make the spring game obviously whenever that gets finalized. But yeah, hoping to make some practices here in the spring. So
Yeah, I thought I was going to be able to go to all the spring practices because I thought we would be in Birmingham by this point. But that is not how the cookie has crumbled, Grant. And that's okay.
you can live in the garage. At least you got that.
We could live in the garage, but anyway. Um, Spring football, we're going to get a roster at some point soon. We'll be able to give a little bit better of a breakdown. And Grant, once you get some eyes out there, once you see how quickly or not quickly the offensive line is coming off of the ball, because brother last year they either just stood up or didn't move, except for backwards. Um, I mean, there was oh my god, you would watch a game, I'd go back and rewatch the game. There was no line surge ever at any point that was positive for Samford outside of like a handful of plays. It was just a scrum over no yardage. Um, anyway, I don't want to
Yep.
go back there so bad. I just want Coach Gross to come in here, get us playing some decent football right off the bat, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, and that room had the best position coach by far, right?
We're not going to denigrate anyone. I will say this, just like I am certainly still on my soapbox about Stephen Pearl. Not that he was a nepotism hire, but I think a good old boy hire is about the same as a nepotism hire. I like to see a culture of meritocracy, not a culture of apathy and sympathy, frankly. Um, I just want to win, you know? I just want to win. These coaches, I got several grandfather was a coach, lifelong coach. You sign up for a gig knowing that it might be your last season every season. So it's awesome that some of these coaches were able to stay in Birmingham for 12 years. It was about 8 years too long. So, um, yeah, that's all I'll
It's
say.
in the it's in the past. It's in the past.
It's in the past. New coaching staff.
Looking ahead.
Um, Unfortunately, they can sit back and say, "Hey, this last staff did nothing for 12 years. I can just sit here, collect a check, and well, before I know it, Social Security will be kicking in." So, um, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Kind of.
if 3/4 of the staff is still 30 years away from Social Security, so they don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, dude, that helps. That, and we've talked about that, and we talked about that with Martin. We love that we have some hungry young dogs on the coaching staff who need to prove something. Because if they do, I mean, that's what's cool, Grant, is these guys are getting opportunities that most guys don't get at this stage of their career because we did win one game and the expectations are zero. So Coach Cross can bring in some high potential, unproven young coaches who, if they show some muster, after one season, might go get a really nice gig um, as a positions coach or an analyst or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Yep. Good to have some coaches with a 2 in front of their age like that. So like, that's what we're working
Yeah,
with. So good. Yeah.
I like it. I love a
Change it
little
up. Opposite.
infusion of youth.
Yeah. So yeah,
Maybe
we'll
that'll
see
help on the
what's going
recruiting
on.
trail.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yep. There you go.
Fortunately, NIL is still not has not taken over the FCS.
Yeah.
Do we know if North Dakota State's actually moving up?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're going to play in the
So they
Mountain
didn't.
West, maybe.
So they are proceeding because I know they
Yeah.
had announced, but
Yeah.
well,
And
I'll
then they
tell you
put.
this: the
Yeah, they
football
put.
mid majors need to wake up because that wagon is rolling in hot.
Yeah, they're gonna. I think they're gonna play in the. Yeah, they're gonna play in the Mountain West in 26. Even saw something where the NCAA put something forward like, "Hey, we're gonna stop the teams that move up from SDS to FBS have to wait like 3 or 5 years to be eligible for postseason. Instead, we're just gonna do this now or whatever it was."
So they'll be immediately eligible.
Yeah, I think as long as that passes, they'll be immediately eligible for bowl
Because
games,
that's
which is
also a
overdue.
really stupid rule.
Yeah, I think
Also, it
even
kind of
basketball the same
stinks
thing.
though. I want to see him in the Pac-12 now that I want to see them play. Like I think Boise State, North Dakota State could be a very fun um little matchup there. But alas, we'll settle for who's even still in the Mountain West. Because I
Yeah,
think Fresno State went to the Pac-12.
yeah. The
Is
Pac-12 is
like
basically.
Colorado State, or did they
I think there's like 8 schools in the
Nevada,
Pac-12 now, and they're all states. I do know that it's like Colorado State and
Utah
so forth.
State?
Utah State, Boise State, like it's a bunch of Fresno State, it's a bunch of states.
No,
So
Boise State's in the Pac-12. Because that's what's
um,
messing this whole thing up. Is the Pac-12 is revitalized to a degree. Let's see, Mountain West 2026 football.
yeah, Pac-12 is Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Texas State, Utah
Yeah,
State, Oregon State, and Washington State.
and then the Mountain West is Northern Illinois,
Yeah, that's right. They're moving from the MAC. Yeah,
ruining the
sure.
MAC. Although the MAC added UMass, so now they're kind of back to even strength. UTEP, North Dakota State, Air Force. I don't know why Air Force just doesn't go independent. Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico, not New Mexico State, who's in the Pac-12, which is weird. Or no,
Yeah,
they're in the no. They're not they're in the Pac-12. Did you say
it
them?
was
New
who?
Mexico State, the Aggies.
Yes. Yeah.
Weird. I would rather have the Lobos. Much better brand, much cooler uniforms, much cooler coach. Um, San
No,
Jose State, UNLV, and Wyoming. Ooh,
hold on. I
now the
did.
Wyoming North Dakota State game could be awesome. That could be a little rivalry.
Why is this so confusing? New Mexico State's in the Conference USA. That's right. They're still in the
There you
CUSA.
go. Okay, that I was like
That's right.
I don't think they're the Pac-12.
Yeah, they're still in the CUSA. Yeah.
Okay, the
And,
CUSA.
and Tennessee Tech's in the SoCon. So there you go.
It's a miracle the CUSA is still around.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
Tennessee Tech hired a new basketball coach, Tobin Anderson, he was the coach at Fairleigh Dickinson that beat Purdue. So another really good basketball coach. So there you go.
is he though, Grant? He's a
He's
coach that
good.
got lucky. Is he a good coach?
He's a good coach. Yeah, he's solid.
Okay. Okay.
He's not great, but I mean he's solid. He's good.
Okay.
Again, I don't know what Tech's working with resource wise, obviously, for basketball. I know football, they're gonna throw
I
all the
was
money there.
skeptical. I was
Yeah,
skeptical, but I
yeah, for
trust you.
sure.
All right. Well, with
Yeah.
that, State of the Bulldogs is out. We will catch y'all next week, hopefully with a spring football roster. Shout out Samford SID. Come on, boys, hook us up. But hope everybody has a good week. Go Bulldogs.